let's just do a quick thing here because I got to be honest, I don't have much to say about this one. Prisoners of the Ghostland. You and I saw this neo-noir Western Nicolas Cage action film back in January during Sundance. Sofia Boutella is also in it. It was so long ago. We're talking 9 months. And this was directed by Sion Sono, who you actually you had a conversation with. You interviewed the guy.
Very excited. I had a busy weekend, but I'm very excited to go back and transcribe the interview because he was very lovely. It was quite a pleasure and quite an honor to speak with him.
I'll be honest, I did not like this movie very much. I'm very sorry. But it's getting its release right now through RLJE Films, excuse me. It's available to stream video on demand. And I think in some select theaters as well. And I gotta say, I didn't love this one. But Will, I honestly, I don't even remember that much about it. Like, I remember Nicolas Cage. It's like in Japan. And he's trying to rescue this this woman. And there's this place called Ghostland. And he has to fight a bunch of random stuff. There's like a bank robbery that goes wrong. There's a bunch of people who are larger than life characters, right? Exactly. What is this movie?
Yeah, so this is, as we mentioned, the long publicized joining of forces between Nicolas Cage and Sion Sono, who, if you don't know, Sion Sono, legendary Japanese filmmaker. In the States, I think he's probably best known for, I think is it 2014 when he released Why Don't You Play in Hell?
I don't know.
Okay. He's made a lot of films in Japan. A lot of them are just wild. And knowing his reputation as a filmmaker and knowing Nicolas Cage's willingness to just play it up and go ham and just be weird and wild as possible, a lot of people had high expectations for this. And then when Nicolas Cage, during an interview, was like, this is the wildest film I've ever made. I don't know why I gave him a southern accent now, but it wouldn't be out of character for Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, this is the wildest movie I've ever made. They put bombs in my balls.
Yes, among other things. Yes, they do that. But yeah, I mean, it had a reputation even before it went to Sundance. And I think Nicolas Cage fans like myself were like, what the hell is going to happen in this film?
You guys are going to love it. You like the song Time in a Bottle?
That's a great scene. But yeah, I think because of that, I think Nicolas Cage kind of sabotaged his film in some respects because people saw it at Sundance and they were like, oh, okay, it's fun, it's charming.
What are you talking about? I did a great job on this movie.
Yeah, I'm not criticizing your performance, Nicolas Cage. I'm talking more about the film itself. Narratively, I think it favors a sort of conventionality outside of some eccentricities that I think people were expecting a lot weirder and just buck wild absurdity from this film. And I just don't think it's quite that wacky. I think it has a sort of even-handedness that I think people were not expecting, and I don't think it's quite as meme-friendly as other people were expecting, outside of one line delivery where Nicolas Cage talks about his testicles, as you were mentioning, and I think that line will be YouTube-friendly for years to come.
I only bring it up because it kicked ass.
Sure. I must say, Nicolas Cage, it's a huge honor to be speaking with you. I don't know where John Negroni went, but I'm a big fan of your films.
I told him to get lost. He couldn't remember the movie that he saw in January. Does he even care about this podcast? I don't think so.
I don't know. Honestly, I mean, we were talking. Have you seen Cry Macho, Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, I saw it.
All right.
I saw it in my private screening room in Malibu.
Oh, that's very, very, you're quite fortunate, Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. Hey, I'd like to say Prisoners of the Ghostland's my own Mad Max.
Okay, you know that kind of makes sense. Yeah,
I like Clint Eastwood.
Sure, yeah. I mean, sorry, do you think Clint Eastwood is in Mad Max?
No, but they're of a piece, Will. Don't you get it?
Yes, I get it. Yeah, I think I do.
The bees, man.
Yes.
They're the bee's knees. But you were saying something about how Prisoners of the Ghostland is a masterpiece of design and production.
Well, I mean, I do actually think that the production quality of the film is probably the high point of it. I think just the look and the world that you and Sion Sono and all the other filmmakers involved with this film made is.
I can't take any credit. It was all Sion. I mean, the guy knows his stuff. He's so stylish.
Of course. I mean, the man has made, I don't even know how many films at this point.
I lost count.
Sure. And I know you're a big fan of his, so that means a lot. So, yes, there is a sort of a Terry Gilliam-esque look to the film, the sort of like kind of mythical odyssey that you and Sion Sono made that I find quite alluring. It's like almost lyrical, I guess, in some respects, even though it is following your kind of traditional. What are some of the films? I'm trying to remember that it harkens back to, like, let's see.
Face Off.
Like, there's. Sure, in some respects, Face Off, but I just mean like
Season of the Witch. That's probably the best movie I ever made, honestly.
Sure.
I think I was in that.
I was thinking more like kind of like The Bad Batch.
Sorcerer's Apprentice. You're right.
Yes. I mean, not to be fair, I'm not talking about your filmography, though I have seen quite a few of your films.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with that. What I was trying to say is I think even though the story itself kind of has your kind of weird, like, vigilante-esque type thing, I think it's more about the, if you pardon me saying so, it's more about the qualities around the film outside of your performance that stand out more than you. I think you play the part as to be expected, and you do your caginess to its full caginess, but it's more about the oddball kind of side characters, the production design, as we mentioned, the art direction, just the general sort of weird world building that Sion Sono seems to be interested in. I think he could really care less about the story. It's just a means to an end, and it's just about building this weird world and kind of saying what he wants to say within it that is of importance here. And I think ultimately that's more fun and interesting than the main plot ultimately, which is, like I said, kind of a means to an end. But there's enough goofiness here, enough kind of weird absurdity that I liked it. I was willing to sit through, and I never felt bored with it. But I think people are kind of ho-hum about it, and I can understand that because it just doesn't really meet the expectations I think the creators gave it, and I just don't think it really does as much with the material as you would hope. But yeah, I mean, for what it was, I mean, it's not as good as Pig, which you're fantastic in.
Oh,
Cage.
What a good movie that was. I think I was in that.
Yeah, and it's not even as delirious, I guess, as something like Mandy, which you're also quite good in.
You know what, Will? You know what the difference is between those movies? Pig, you're supposed to watch that sober. I imagine you didn't watch these films while under the influence of the LSD?
I was a professional. Well, I mean, the second time I saw Mandy, I maybe wasn't totally sober.
I appreciate
but I wasn't
that.
reviewing it. Yeah.
That's the intention. You're not, look, Will, you're not supposed to watch Prisoners of the Ghostland lucid. That's not the point. If you want to watch something lucid, you have a Netflix account. You get it?
Sure.
That's all I'm saying.
And yeah, but I think with this film, as I think you're trying to suggest, there's a desire to kind of like make a cult following in a way that maybe was more organic with something like Mandy.
I'm not in a cult.
Or maybe even. Oh no, I'm no. Cult classic is an expression meaning like a film that finds its audience over time.
Right. Yeah. Sure.
I don't think that. To clarify, I do not think you, Mr. Cage, are in a cult of any sort.
Fine, I'm in a cult. I'll admit it. I'll own up to it if you persist.
I think you should be careful with your words here, Nicolas Cage, because people have these expectations with Hollywood and actors. I don't want anyone to get the wrong message.
I'm in a cult of liking good movies. Is that what a cult is?
Well, if that's the cult you're in, then you're gonna fit in just fine with us at Cinemaholics.
Cloud Cult, good band. Josh Radnor. I heard you and John talking about it earlier.
Yes, that was actually a conversation we had off the air. Yes, I don't know how you heard that, but
I was in the room.
Oh, well, that's a little creepy. I'll have to be honest.
I was invited.
Okay, were you in my room or his room?
Well, I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm a prisoner.
Oh, of the Ghostland?
No, of John himself.
Oh no. Is that where he is right now?
He pays me in starbursts. I don't know. He went to the bathroom.
Okay. Well, I hope he comes back at some point. I would like to talk to him more about the film. I dislike this conversation.
If he were here, I think he would say that the movie's very balls to the wall.
In more ways than one, I guess.
Right. You know him.
Yeah.
He thinks he's clever and such.
Yeah.
Will,
All right.
I can't help but feel like you think this movie sucks, but you just are being nice
quite
to
the
me.
opposite. No, I like the film. I think it's, if I may say so, kind of a middle film for you, in that, like, I think you've made your Mandy's, you made your adaptations, you made these critically acclaimed films, or Face Off, as you mentioned at one point. These films that are revered among Cage fans and audiences and critics alike. And I think this film will find its audience. It's probably a little bit more niche than some of your other films, but I think it will be liked. I just don't think it's going to quite reach the expectations that sets upon itself. It almost, in some respects, I guess, sort of insists upon itself. But I think there's enough here to enjoy. I just don't think narratively, I don't think it really comes together, but I think the qualities of the film that I do like are enough that I was pleasantly enjoying the ride of it, and just immersed in the weird oddities that you produce with Sion Sono. But ultimately, I think the film could have been a little bit more remarkable given the talent and concept at the core here.
You know what? I think that's all very fair criticism, Will. And I think when it comes down to it, I just wanted to make a movie with some samurai. Is that a crime?
No, it's quite the opposite. I think you should make more movies with samurais.
I think it's a lot of fun. I really like miniguns too.
Okay, cool.
That's what
I like seeing you shoot miniguns. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, I get it. It's not for everybody watching, especially if you're, a square. Are you a square, Will?
I hope not.
Good. And you know what?
Yeah.
John kind of left a note for me because he knew this was going to be a whole thing. He wanted to tell you that the Rotten Tomatoes score, based on what you've been talking about, is probably going to surprise some viewers. Can you guess?
This is a good one, because I'm not 100% sure what this one is.
I've been watching it every day.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it makes sense. I'll have to admit.
I check it every morning when I'm about to do my morning run in calisthenics.
Can I guess? This is the critic score, right?
Yeah.
This is I'm gonna guess 76%.
It's 72. You're within the margin of error, though, so I'll give you I'll give you a little bit of praise.
What a kind honor, Nicolas Cage.
It's based out of 100 critics. I'm proud of you, Will. I've been watching your career.
That means a lot.
For a long
that's very
time.
Sweet.
Hey.
Likewise.
You know what? Will, I gotta say I lied to you. I was looking at an old review. It actually is 65%. It went down.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So I was off more than that. That's okay. You'll never upset me, Nicolas Cage, unless you do something, I guess. But
some of the haters came into focus. You get it?
Yeah. Like you said, I think you may be, if I might be so blunt, I think you kind of you damned yourself a little bit here. I think you set expectations too high.
Hey, you did the same thing for Mandy. I'll never stop thanking you for it. I remember that was the only movie from 2018 that you seemed to like unironically. And it meant a lot to me as a listener of Cinemaholics.
Oh, thank you. It means a lot that you listen to the show.
Of course. I share it with everybody. Sofia, Boutella.
Nice.
Yeah. Andrea Riseborough is the one who introduced it to me.
Oh, okay. That's surprising.
She's a big fan. Do you know what the audience score is?
This is even tougher than the critical score.
Oh, I bet. It's tougher for me to accept. That's a hint.
Is it 54%?
No, it's 36. What are you going to do?
Oh, wow.
Fewer than 50 ratings. We're still working on the marketing, trying to figure out that sweet spot.
If you had time in a bottle.
Oh, Will, you're hilarious. You're nothing like John described you.
Oh, well, I thought you were a fan of the show.
Well, he warned me that, talking to you is different from listening to you. I shouldn't have listened.
There you go. Is there a cinema score for this one?
There's not that I know of. If there is, I don't want to know. They wouldn't get it anyway, wouldn't they?
They're a weird bunch in Las Vegas. I have said as much on several podcasts at this point.
Will, I gotta go. John's standing at the threshold of the door, kind of leaning against the door impatiently.
Sure.
He wants the microphone back.
Well, let me say again, it's been a great honor to speak with you. I'm a big fan of your work.
So great. You're one of the angels from City of Angels, Will Ashton.
Oh, that's very sweet. I don't live in Los Angeles, but I like to think so. That's a very kind compliment.
You don't have to. Yeah. I heard what you were talking about earlier about being Catholic, so close enough.
Yes, true. Well, that's very nice of you. Thank you for making the time to speak with us, and I hope this pleasure comes again at some point.
Well, he's already gone. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I've never seen him that excited.
Yeah, I mean, it's very nice. It was. I wish you were around to hear our conversation.
Yeah,
it was actually.
I'll listen to it later.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
It's not. Hey, I kind of heard it from the other. He's very loud.
He's an outspoken fellow.
Yeah. He was talking differently. He had like his work voice on when he was talking to you. Like he saw it as a job. So I'm, he sounds different.
Do you think you're going to get angry notices from your fiance about this whole bit?
Very possible.
Sure.
She never was supportive of him moving in. So
yeah. Honey, is this a Oscar-winning actor Nicolas Cage in our house?
Yeah. Can you explain or not? I guess that's it for our show. We talked about a bunch of movies. Prisoners of the Ghostland. It's out now. 103 minutes long. Thank you so much for listening to our show. Be sure to subscribe to Cinemaholics on your favorite podcast app of choice or find us on YouTube. See you all next time.